I have no idea. I've never called to ask them. I just took my pen.
Okay.
You're not, oh, you're filming? No, no.
Oh, yeah.
No! Etc. Okay.
No.
Okay, we're
no.
getting ready for the, you see what goes on in here? He wants something, he's still trying to get some information out of me. I'm trying to get ready for the big field trip, and Diane's working away over here, and she's probably got something to tell me, but she's being polite and not telling me right now in front of everybody.
And that's why I spent a while on the website last night. And I couldn't find
okay,
it.
so here's what we're doing today. We're doing a special edition of Ask the Manager. We're going on a field trip. We have a beautiful, beautiful day to go on a field trip. We are going to look at some of the projects that are on the question on the June 5th, 2007 special election ballot. These are projects that were approved at the 2007 annual town meeting to go forward to a ballot for a debt exclusion override. What is a debt exclusion override, you might ask? Well, a debt exclusion override authorizes overriding Prop 2.5 to allow for the town to incur expenses of the borrowing costs, the borrowing of, and the associated costs for these projects over the life of the project. So, for example, if a project costs $1 million and the associated borrowing expenses are a couple $100,000, and we've borrowed over a period of 20 years, the amount needed to raise that amount of money will go on your tax bill for the next 20 years. So what we're talking about in dollars is, for a house that's assessed at $1 million, we're talking about a $14.42 increase on your tax bill. That's what we're doing. So we're going to look at these projects. We have a number of projects that were approved. We got a fire truck. We've got some school stuff to look at. We got some bike path projects. We're also going to look at a couple of the projects that were approved last year, also at an override, to see where they are. What have we done with your money? We're going to go look at a couple of those things. So we're going to be all over the place. A common question I get from people about the special election ballot is, how come there's no amount in the question? How come it doesn't say $4.55 million? That's about the amount that we appropriated at town meeting. The reason for that is that the question itself is statutory. You have to word it in a particular way according to the statute, and that way does not allow for you to include a number, partly because you don't know at the time of the ballot what your borrowing rate is going to be. You haven't borrowed the money yet, so you don't have an accurate amount of the cost, an exact amount of the cost. That comes later. So that's the reason why. Did I cover everything? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think I did. So we're going to head out to my car. We're going to drive around to some places. I got this thing all listed out. We have 2 hours. But you won't be watching this for 2 hours. Don't worry, because it'll be all cut down. And so off we go. Ready? All right, we're backing out of the Mooney Building parking lot, which is always very treacherous. But here we go.
Hopefully. Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Are we really doing this one-way thing here on
Yes, we are.
Broad Street?
Next Monday, May 14th. This street right here, Broad Street, from here, Federal, up to Center, will be one way coming down from Center. So you will not be able to take a left here starting next Monday. You will have to go right.
Is this a trial, or is this actually going to be the way it's going to be?
This is going to be the way it's going to be, but we will monitor it, and if it's a total disaster, we'll go back.
Okay.
So it's a trial in a sense that if it's really just, we're anticipating that it will work, but of course if it doesn't, we're done. Yeah, we're going to the Marine Department first. The Marine Superintendent, Dave Fronzuto, is going to show us what his project is, which is to add and expand this building, his main building. He's got bathrooms and public bathrooms and showers and things in here, but he needs more room for his administrative offices. He's got the marine biologist across the street. We want to move him over here, and then we can free up space over in the town building annex for other offices. Concom is in desperate need of space, and so there he is, right here. All right, so Dave, show us what your plan is here.
Okay, the plan is to fill in between these two buildings and utilize that wasted space. And the downstairs would be a new entrance and a staff bathroom. Currently what happens now is in the winter we have to leave one of the big bathrooms open, so this will be a staff bathroom that'll have heat in it, and so we'll be able to use that. And then I guess the rest of it, or more importantly, is a second story on this building here, which will tie the two buildings together, and that'll give us the ability to move the biologist and the beach manager over here, have everybody in one complex, be able to use one administrative assistant, one set of computers, one set of printers, one set of fax machines, copy machines, storage, and all of that. And that'll free up space over in the town annex building for the Conservation Commission and the Health Department and the folks that are over there. What happened here, and you can see on the plans, the completed portion, with federal and local money, we were able to renovate the bathrooms 2 years ago, make them handicap accessible, and add 2 toilets and 2 showers on both the men and women's side. We also had enough money to build this little section here, which ends up being a utility room and a workshop off the back side of this building. We did not have enough funding to do the second story. The federal funding couldn't be used for the office expansion, so now we've gone back to the voters through town meeting and now through the ballot to add this second story. You know, I think it works for the department. It certainly works for the town and helping all the other agencies, so I think it's a good project.
All right, Dave, thank you so much. What else? Any other quick updates you can give us? What about last year? Last year we had funding for Children's Beach Boat Ramp. That is finally almost done.
We're hoping to be done this Friday.
Yep, and we had what was that bulkhead thing?
A bulkhead up in Pulpus Harbor, freestanding bulkhead which protects the entrance to Pulpus Harbor. It was built in the late 30s, hadn't had anything done to it for 70 years. We completely rebuilt that. That saves us from having to dredge that channel. We'll still have to dredge it periodically, but it saves us from dredging that channel. That's been completed. We're looking forward to using the boat ramp. We were over there launching our boats today, so we're hoping to be completely open by Friday. We're going to pave, I think, tomorrow, so we're almost there with that.
I know this might be sort of a sore subject, but there's a lot of chatter going on about the Children's Beach Boat Ramp and whether or not it was built to spec and all of that. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. We'll talk about the spec first. The slope on the ramp. The old ramp was 8% slope. The new ramp is 10.6% slope. So it is steeper. It's also 20 feet longer. It's also now 33 feet wide, so it's 10 feet wider. It's oriented to the channel and to the road to take care of the little dog leg. There's 2 issues with the depth. One is we dredged to a -6, and the bulkhead at the White Elephant has failed and has dumped all that sand back in there. And then the storm drain project that worked on for 4 to 5 months, that dewatering project for Brant Point that CNC Construction is up there still finishing up, that put additional amounts of sand in there. I don't know whether they didn't use the proper filtration or whatever, but here again you've got a situation where the storm drain was running 24 hours a day for 4 months, dumping sand into our area, so the depth, rather than being at a -6 there, is now at about 30 inches. So in the fall we'll have to dredge that out. So those are really the two issues. The other issue is that everyone has to get used to the new curb stop, which is at the bottom of the ramp. There's a 9-inch curb stop at the very bottom of the ramp to keep trailers from going completely into the water along with the truck, and that curb stop then of course raises the elevation of the bottom of the ramp up 9 inches. We'll mark it, we'll put a tide board there. We launched our 25-foot Carolina skiff today with a full load of buoys on it at dead low tide. So
not a problem.
We're using it. All the boat yards that are using it aren't complaining. The folks all the mooring companies that are using it are not complaining. I just asked folks to give us an opportunity to get it finished. The finger piers will help because you'll be able to not get wet while you're launching your boat, because the finger piers will be there, and we'll certainly reevaluate if there's another problem. But we believe it was built to spec. Contractor did a good job. Just let's use it and see how we do.